Good Monday morning, and welcome to Ice Age TV Florida time. Internal combustion engine age conversation, topic things, and good to see this here this morning. Kind of took a little time out over the weekend, a little bit. So I was making a video of me doing my Indian Chief Bobber crash bar install. If anybody watched that, did that real simple, kind of, but your Indian Chief Bobber crash bar install. But hey, wow, man, time just flies by. It's hard to believe I've been down here a month. I mean, for the most part, in the next day or so, just incredible. Wow. So hey, what is going on today, right? And well, what did we do yesterday? Well, I actually got the daughter involved yesterday. Went out and bought my dad a new power washer that enabled us to do a little better job of cleaning the house here, driveway and sidewalk and gutters, and had the kid out there doing the work yesterday. She did a good job. And maybe power washers, it's not the cleanest of things, getting yourself all dirty, but she did a good job here. So we focused on the front of the house here, and so anyways, and then I kind of helped her out, finish off the driveway here, and this area is just so trashed. It's just these trees. And then there's neighbors across the street that don't have trees around their house. It's night and day on the maintenance. Just if I lived here, I'd have this tree taken down. It just trashes everything. Yeah, so trying to look out here and see what's going on this morning. Kind of sounds quiet, or is it? Now I hear something running up the street like a machine. There's squirrels. Thought the Monday morning would be a peaceful morning. Yeah, our Monday's usually peaceful days for anybody that's in that story. If you work, Monday mornings are usually a little more chaotic when you go back to work to put things back together. It isn't such a peaceful day, but this neighborhood, it's the retirement community, and it's for the most part, it's a pretty peaceful neighborhood without the lawnmower guys show up. So you're probably hearing the word now, peaceful. Peace. Yeah, what's the theme today? I thought to myself, hey, why don't I talk about peace? I don't even know if I even made a video of that. I can't even keep track myself of the themes of videos I make, because I make so many. But let's close up the garage door here, and I don't know. For me, it's always about this last second idea of what to talk about. And actually, my peace video came from. Got to get my morning coffee here and burn my lips, right? Yeah. The peace video themed this morning kind of came from me being at church yesterday, and the sermon was about friendship. It was a good sermon. It wasn't the normal full-time minister doing the sermon yesterday, but another gentleman did the sermon, and he did a really good job. It was about friendship, and I was just thinking to myself, boy, friendships, peace. That's how it kind of seems to keep the friendships is peace. But then I thought to myself, okay, so here's a car channel, and trying to keep the car theme is the simplest thing in the world. It sent me a nice little picture to frame. I was kind of wishing it would have been the Raptor, though. If you kind of think about it, I bought the Raptor. And so they're saying, thank you for the purchase. This is my third picture I've received, because I've bought 3 Broncos. But this time I was hoping it would be the Raptor, but they didn't do that. So kind of interesting, because I bought one of the very select few Raptors, but I guess not, if you know what I mean. So yeah, to kind of keep it in the car theme kind of conversation get going, I thought to myself, boy, is anybody at peace with their cars, or hasn't been at peace with their cars? Boy, if you've been around long enough, those stories. If you've owned cars that are just, you're just mad at them. Who hasn't had that experience in life where you have a car that is just a headache? It's just aggravating. It has issues, and you get mad at the car. Who has? I wasn't seeing the movies, or just even your friends, borderline, kicking the door of the car, kicking the tire, pounding the hood, pounding the steering wheel, whatever it may be. But if you've been around long enough, you've had cars that some cars are just not the most peaceful things in your life. And it's very aggravating. I mean, anybody here, who can't relate with that? I can still remember when I was just a kid in the mid 70s of standing at the school bus, waiting for the school bus to come up the road at the end of our street with other kids. And the neighbor across the street from the school bus stop had, I don't know if it was a Fiat or Alfa Romeo. I can't remember what it was, but you would just hear in the colder months, he would go out to start the car and just then ching, 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 and the car wouldn't start, Then you'd hear the door slam, so the guy couldn't get to work on time because now his car is giving him aggravation. And so do you think he was at peace with that car? And anybody knows that you have a car that starts having these weird issues, like the car is missing, or it has vibrations, or some funny noise, or the brakes don't feel right, or you're trying to accelerate. Just there's infinite variables, but you don't feel that comfortable in the car driving on the road. Especially you hear the recalls, the car just mysteriously turns off. Yeah, that's comforting. You should pull out in front of a tractor trailer to, cross the road, right? I mean, and that's the thing. I think that for me, when I was growing up, the Fiat, the Alfa Romeo, the Maserati, it was all like the Italian brand. It just seemed like those were not the most trustworthy cars. It just seemed like the reliability of those cars was terrible. And even the Jaguars, same thing. The Brits that built the Jaguar. So, just from a very young age of me growing up, I already had in my head, I wouldn't own one of those things. Who doesn't have that? I mean, even it's interesting. I never grew up a Ford guy. I never looked at Ford being kind of like the car of what I wanted to have. And yet here it is so many years later, and I have how many Fords? Yeah, and you'll have stories. I mean, you hear stories from both brands. You'll hear people like, I'll never buy a Ford ever again in my life. I've owned one of those cars. That thing gave me so many problems. You think that person was at peace with that Ford? You'll hear about a GM product. The person say they bought a General Motors product. They'll tell you all day long about how they had so many problems with that vehicle, and they were aggravated and hated the dang thing. They never owned one of those things ever again in their life. I mean, I've heard people talk about Toyotas that way. I've heard all brands, Volkswagen, Audi, BMW, Mercedes-Benz. I owned some Mercedes-Benz back in 2006 and 7, and I'll tell you what, I was not impressed. I mean, I was blown away how those things, to me, borderline, were junk. I mean, I couldn't believe it. High-end Mercedes-Benz series cars, SUVs, basically. And so anyways, I just got to think to myself this morning, are you at peace with your vehicle? Yeah, but then, at the same time, you own a vehicle that you're just so connected with. I mean, who hasn't had that, where the car is just such a nice car? The car drives nice. The car, it's a good-looking car. The reliability, the fit and finish, the way you sit in it, the way it gets down the road and absorbs the bumps, the way it may sound, the way it feels. There's just so many things you just connect with a car. And you just become you fall in love with the car, basically, and you just have peace with that car. I mean, you hear these stories of people have these cars, and some people, they'll just never get rid of that car. I mean, they're just heartbroken if they ever have to let the car go. So I think there's both sides of the story of the peace of cars. Either you don't have any peace, or you have a lot of peace. Even the same thing for motorcycles. I mean, motorcycles, all all modes of transportation, you just kind of seem to connect with the vehicle, or not so much, because the vehicle is such a it's just this kind of nerve-wracking, I guess you could say. And that's why I think to myself, peace. What's the definition of peace, right? What's the meaning of peace? And I just think that peace, I think, is when you just have confidence in what you own, or in a friendship. You just have confidence that you're kind of on the same page in life, and that you kind of see things the same, and you kind of come to closure on understanding things. Isn't that kind of like what friendship's all about? Is you both kind of see things the same way for the most part, and you should have differences of opinions. I think that in relationships, you don't have differences of opinions. I don't think that's actually good. I think you need to have the arguments, but at the end, you come to the peace. You come to the peace table, where you come to agree on what seems, I guess, to make sense. because each one of us thinks we have all the answers, but we don't. And that's why I think the strong bond of friendship is if you can argue with your friend and when it's all said and done, you can still be friends. That's a real friendship. If you argue with your friend or whoever it may be, and you can't, come to terms, then it's not a friendship. I mean, that's where I came yesterday. I was thinking to myself, peace. You have to be at peace with yourself and be at peace with others and those that are at peace with themselves. I mean, who wants to hang out with the frickin' person that's just a total, just has, these stories of people that are so challenged in life. And I think vehicles are like the same thing. The car, you can go out and buy a car, and you come to find out that was a huge mistake. You can go out and find a friend or start a relationship, and you find out as time goes on, that was a huge mistake. And there isn't the peace. I gotta have some coffee, man. I haven't had lawn man doing, 100 years ago. Isn't that incredible? Well, 100 years ago, so he died in 1931, so wow. No, 31. So right, he's 23. So he was 100 years ago. What was he doing today in 1923, right? What was the Bronco, the horse? Oh, it looks like there's not peace up in New York City right now where all the nurses are demanding better care for better pay. There's 7,000 nurses. They're not at peace this moment, are they? Yeah, so for the most part, there's such a division right now, the EV versus the ICE. And I think, the ICE people, I think, are very at peace with their cars. More than ever today, the ICE age technology, the internal combustion engine age technology, has just been so mastered through engineering of reliability and fuel economy compared to what it was years ago, and performance. And it's just incredible how far we've come with today's technology for the ICE vehicles. And so many people still just love the ICE vehicles, but yet they're being told that you need to kind of think about giving up that ICE vehicle to become the EV vehicle owner. And I just think to myself, wow, are people at peace with that idea? And I think that there's a lot of people that are not at peace with the idea that you have to give up your ICE vehicle for an electric vehicle. And what drives that? I mean, what's driving the force where so many people think that you need to give up your ICE for an EV? I mean, what's the real, why do people come to peace in their own minds that an electric vehicle is a peaceful thing for the world? I mean, isn't it interesting that the EV vehicle is more about saving the world? Isn't that kind of really the main theme, that you come to terms in your own brain that you're at peace with your EV vehicle because you feel like you're going to save the world? Versus when you bought your ICE vehicle, did you ever kind of have that thought in your, did you ever think to yourself, wow, if I buy this car, this truck, or whatever vehicle, this gasoline motor in it, did you ever think, oh, this is going to help save the world? That was the reason you bought it? I mean, but yet today, the main theme to be at peace with the EV vehicle is that you bought it to save the world? Or is it because it's such incredible technology, which I can get that, incredible power, instantaneous, I can get that. Okay, that's pretty cool. But in the meantime, the ICE person, I don't remember ever thinking to myself when I bought an ICE vehicle that this vehicle was going to help save the planet. I never had that thought. I had the more of a thought is, hey, this Hellcat has incredible power. This is insane. I can buy a factory 707 horsepower car. Beyond believable. Do I even qualify to own it without losing my license? Yeah, because the thing's so fast. I mean, that's what ran through my mind. And just like the Bronco Raptor, I bought that, even knowing that I'm not going to use it to its capabilities. And that's why I never really wanted the Raptor Bronco, because I know it's such an extreme off-road vehicle. Do I really need that? Nope. Yeah, does the guy really need the Corvette, the C8 Corvette, that's going to be old Z06? I mean, how many of those are ever actually be tracked? Just like my GT500 Heritage Edition track pack. I mean, I know. I'm not tracking the car. So yeah, it's way more money than I should have paid for. Somebody the other day made a comment on the video I made a while back that they thought that paying $10,000 over MSRP was way too much. I'm thinking, I don't know. I don't think that I wouldn't come to closure on that yet. It could be, but they don't make them anymore. They don't make the Predator motor anymore. I did a whole video about that last week. Just wow. Okay. I mean, I don't know. It's possible. I think the car is an incredible car, personally. I'm sure a lot of people, are you at peace with that decision? Yeah. I mean, for the most part, I felt like that was a good investment. I think that story's not over. Yeah. So, but, back to the EV vehicle. The EV age, to me, is more about you need to come to terms and be at peace with Mother Earth. And that's why you should buy an EV vehicle. And I'm sure there's some EV vehicle people out there that watch my channel, or everybody be like, that's malarkey. I'd be like, right, for you it's malarkey because you bought it for the performance side of it. You bought the Plaid because you want that insane, torque, instantaneous speeds, and other many EV vehicles out there as well. The Porsche, I mean, they're very cool vehicles. I'm not talking down about the EV vehicle. I'm saying what came to peace in your mind of why you bought the vehicle? And that's the thing. All of us that go out and buy vehicles, you have to come to peace in your mind that this makes sense. This is the vehicle I want. And, most people aren't like me, the crazy guy, the crazy Iceman that buys so many cars it's ridiculous. Most people buy a car, and that's a purchase for the next 5, 10 plus years. So they got to come to peace that they bought what they really wanted to buy. And that's what I'm talking about is, boy, you buy a car that you had your heart so set on, you get it, then it's not what it is. Are you at peace with that car anymore? But at the same time, people buy cars, and I think sometimes people buy cars they didn't even plan to buy, and those are the cars they end up being at peace with more than the car they thought they wanted to buy. Have you ever heard that story? Even for me, I've owned so many cars. There's some cars that, it isn't going to be that what I think. It just isn't going to be, and then all of a sudden, like, wow. This is an incredible vehicle. Yeah, how do I keep peace between all my vehicles, right? Yeah. Yeah, and I've been blessed. I mean, there's many stories of people who just have the incredible hardships of buying vehicles, and they have nothing but trouble with them. Are you at peace with your vehicle today? Or are you at peace just walking? You're gonna is the real EV movement is just eventually have you walk down the street. Yeah, right. Well, talk about the other day that how the remote working, something changed in the transportation sector. Amazon, who delivers everything to your house. I mean, do you really need a vehicle in certain circumstances? Just call Uber. You can be at peace of not having a car payment, insurance payment, maintenance payment, all that other stuff, right? And so back to the EV vehicles, is also that the thing? You're at peace. You don't have to go to the gas station anymore and buy gas. You're at peace that you don't have to have the oil changes done on the car and all these other maintenance intervals. What do you do on maintenance intervals on electric vehicles? Like that electric truck I have up north that my guy works for me drives. It has now like 11,000 miles on it, and he needs a 10,000 mile service. What do you do besides add windshield washer fluid and rotate the tires and just check the brakes? I mean, I can't see much more than that, right? Yeah, am I at peace with that vehicle? Yeah, right. So, yeah, but then I thought to myself, I got to get some more. It's the lawn, it's the Bronco. What are the markets going to do today? I don't know. What are the markets? So the barrel bulls kind of back up. Is the oil industry at peace? What's happened to that market? It's the stock market investors at peace? What's happened in the market, of the crypto, the FTX people, are they at peace today? I mean, think it through. Are those individuals, wow, are you at peace? And that's where I kind of take it now away from the car theme. I think to myself, it just seems to me like the media machine's awful peaceful. It kind of seems like things are, for the most part, in this country just kind of humming along and things are peaceful. And I know we have the immigration issues, and there's so many things going on, but I'm saying for the media machine, it just seems, if you go back to 2019 and 2020, that the media machine just so disliked the former city administration because of their policies. I mean, it's a no-brainer. What people don't understand, and don't get me wrong, I think people do understand, but I'm just speaking, off the tongue here, is that the former administration rolled back so many of the agendas that the liberal and the Democratic Party, maybe even independents, wanted to advance. And the so it was such a rollback in the former Trump's administration of so many policies of the green agenda and just the social justice and lots of things that irked the heck out of the left, that the media machine just preached the no peace. It was just, to me, just a lot of hate in the media. It seems like that's what you saw, and we saw and witnessed the hate and the violence and the aggravation. And it just is so incredible on how that previous administration, the media machine, really ratcheted up that the governing body of this country was ruining this country. But yet now this city administration seems like the media machine's awful quiet. And you have to say to yourselves, well, it's because of a lot of the green agenda bills and advancement is happening more than ever in our lifetime. So the media machine's very peaceful with what it's accomplished. So that's my perception, is that more than ever, the media machine is at peace with themselves because they're controlling the emotions of the country to continue an agenda that they want to see advance more than ever in our lifetime. Versus the previous administration, they weren't happy that they were slowing down what they wanted to accomplish, and so they did everything they could to get the former president out of office and its administration out of office to get back, the ball moving again for all these agendas. So now, for the media machine, it doesn't really talk much about it. Doesn't, to me, if you watch one network, you're going to see the constant immigration issues and this and that and that. But overall, it just seems like it's awful quiet and it's awful peaceful. So at the media machine, here's the peace. The peace has changed. Oh, there. Hi. Yeah. What, baby?
Did you get my text?
I did not. I'm doing my good morning conversations.
Guess what I'm gonna have for breakfast?
And I can't even hear what she's saying. Yeah.
I'm gonna have for breakfast
What do you have for breakfast?
a sweet potato and salmon.
Awesome. What I made you last night?
Yes.
You liked it?
Yes.
Yeah, the peace. Has the peace arrived? Or am I being disrupted? Right. Yeah. Yeah, it must be a peaceful morning there for their adventures this morning. It sounds like. So I just think to myself, is it awful peaceful? I mean, and then look at Twitter now. Is Musk banning people left and right now that Twitter is under new ownership under Elon Musk? Is it a much friendlier? I mean, initially when he bought it, took over, all I heard is that the peace was over. Isn't that interesting that the Twitter, when it was bought out by that, all the advertisers and many liberal people were saying that Twitter now is just going to be the worst hate machine in the world. It will not be a peaceful platform. But yet, in so many aspects, I guess the claim that it, for the most part, was because they got rid of certain people to keep the peace upon Twitter. Is that factual? And what happened to all the people that used to interact on there that I guess were the key people that supported the others that couldn't participate? Have they pulled back? So is there peace at Twitter now? I don't know. I just haven't been on Twitter long enough. There's so much. There's so many conversations, so many things. It's infinite. You can just sit behind your phone all day long and read Twitter conversations, which who has time for that? You're going to be at peace with your mind after that? I mean, come on. So anyway, so you think I think to myself, okay, so the former administration was being attacked by the police aren't nice people. So the peace of the police was totally not peaceful. Does anybody remember that? But yet now, it's like everybody's disappeared that was unhappy at the police. I mean, so the police now are more peaceful, or are the police now just ignoring problems because they got so beat up? I don't know. I mean, only the LEO that work internally can really answer those questions. To me, my perception is that with the inner cities, is the inner cities crimes today more peaceful than it was
from the prior administration? Are the drug-related issues more peaceful today than they were from the former administration? Is the illegal immigration more peaceful today than it was from the former administration? Are you at peace with where you work today and the environment that you're in that's woke today? I mean, do you feel as an individual that now you're being controlled more than ever, or what you can say and can't say, and what you say and how you say it? Are you at peace more today than you were from the previous administration? And once again, I'm not taking sides with the previous administration. All I'm trying to say is, I'm just saying there's a difference. To me, it's awful peaceful. It just seems like, where's all the protesting in the streets of the unhappiness of so many? Where's that, right? Look at Brazil. The leftist president was just elected, and it sounds like the January 6th event at their capital in Brazil. They've arrested over 400 people from people that aren't happy with the new incoming president that's only been there like a week. So that it's like a repeat of what happened in this country, right? Yeah, I haven't really even read much on it. I just kind of saw the highlights. I just don't read a lot of news. I mean, I think you've got to be careful, because you kind of get twisted in your ideas and views. I think some people might say, yeah, right, look at your channel, big. Yeah, okay, it's fine. You don't have to watch my channel. You can go watch whatever you want to watch, whatever. I'm not getting paid to do any of this. This is just me sharing information that I think of, ideas and views that hopefully help you think, step back and go, yeah, right. Or like, yeah, that Iceman's so wrong. He's so off base. That's fine. Okay, I could be. Let's just make the comment. No, you're totally wrong on all that conversation. All right, well, that's fine. We're friends, aren't we? I'm not trying to be mean to others. That's not the goal of my channel. It's to share the enthusiasm and fun that we can have in our life, and hope we can learn from one another how to be better in our life. I mean, that's kind of the way I look at life, is do we learn from one another? And instead of having to start the hate thing, ratchet up the hate. Some people just thrive off the hate. You got to be at peace, right? And so is the governing bodies more than ever trying to control our emotions? I mean, are they? Is the media machine trying to control your emotions? It just seems like back prior to the previous administration, that between a lot of sitting governing bodies and the media machine, man, it just didn't seem like there was a lot of peace out there. It seemed to me like there's a ton of hate. But where's that all gone? Where is that transferred? What's interesting in relationships is you've got to come to terms in relationships and friendships that you come to peace with one another of what kind of works and doesn't. So is it really that? I mean, is all the hate that was going on, are they now all at peace? So both sides of the divisions of the way we look at things and decides what's right and wrong, are we at peace with one another? I mean, I don't think we are. I mean, I think that there's a lot of pent-up aggravation, more so than ever, but the media machine just doesn't let it be known like it did, because they want to portray that the country's at peace with one another because of the existing city administration, the policies and agendas that they're advancing. But I've said it many times now, with Kevin McCarthy coming into power and the change of power in the House, how much longer before the peace ends in the media machine? Is it going to be March, April? When does it change? When does Kevin McCarthy? But I tell you what, it's interesting for Kevin McCarthy. So he's out there praising Donald Trump, to which that means Donald Trump's going to be running off big time about how he got Kevin McCarthy to be Speaker of the House. And how long does Kevin McCarthy last? Can this guy take the incredible bruising he's going to have to take? How thick is his skin, right? I mean, how thick is that guy's skin going to be to deal with? He's borderline had to appease a lot of people to get the nomination to be Speaker of the House. Can he live up to what he appeased to others and not have to put the hammer down and tell people, well, I know you helped me get in, but this is the ball game. Oh, well, suck it up, Buttercup. How does he handle that? And so for Trump now, he's going to be running off that he got, the Speaker of the House and he got the House to be back in power of Republicans. So does that mean that Trump gets to be the Republican nominee to run for election? If they don't, the Democratic Party doesn't, put him behind bars somehow, some way. How many years have they been trying to convict this guy Trump? Adam Schiff, Schuler, Jerry Nadler, Nancy Pelosi, Maxine Waters. You go through the list. How long have they been spending their days of, just trying to do everything they can to put Donald Trump, that he can't run be the president. But then for me, I got mixed feelings on all that. Because, man, the media machine just knows how to twist the emotions of so many to hate that guy that I think that if Trump gets to be the nominee to run the GOP ticket, I think that the Democratic Party is going to probably stay in power in the presidency. I just can't see how Trump can appease so many people that hate him. I just think the hate is through the roof, and I just think that the challenge of him bringing peace to the table is going to be just, I don't know. I mean, I'm not the political expert by any means, but at the same time, just my gut instinct is that if Trump runs for the GOP ticket, I think it's going to be extremely challenging for him to win, because I think a lot of people show up just to vote against him, no matter who the pick is. That's what they said for Joe Biden, is they settled for Joe Biden over Donald Trump. That's the word in the Democratic Party, is they settled. That they would much rather see a guy named Joe Biden in office than Donald Trump. And that's why so many supposedly showed up to vote him out of office. And that's a whole other, the stolen election. The people are like, no way. I know, I get all that. I ain't going down that rabbit hole. Anyways, it's time for me to be at peace with myself and get to work. And let this YouTube Monday morning conversation come to an end. So what are we doing next? What have I been doing? I ain't telling. Stay tuned for more adventures. Yeah. The adventures never end. They never end. Yeah. Sometimes if the video machine goes quiet for a reason. All right, everybody. Hey, thanks for watching my channel. Thanks for being so nice and giving good comments. And for anybody that doesn't like all my comments or my channel, then just don't watch it. I don't need you to weigh in and just, not be peaceful. It doesn't gain anything. So I'm not going to control your life. You're not going to control mine. So let's just all be at peace with one another and share good ideas, not bad ideas. Hey, God bless, stay safe, and stay tuned.